am just getting started. I'm gonna set up the camera. I think I left my tripod back in Houston, so I'm just going to set it in such a way. Great. All right. I'm so excited today. Welcome everyone to Yoga with Imran, Sunday mornings, Harmony, a resource, a community for holistic bipolar disorder recovery. I'm your host, Imran Mani. Today we are going to talk about finding purpose and goal setting. Finding purpose and goal setting. So with regard to finding purpose and goal setting, we often might feel lost, or might feel that we feel like we had a sense of purpose before and it was a lie, or it was not something true to who we were. It maybe have been some purpose that someone else gave to us and we were just running like a hamster on a wheel, chasing after something that we never decided for ourselves. And in many cases, when we are younger, our parents, our guardians, our teachers, they tell us, well, the purpose of life is to live in a comfortable state. In order to live in a comfortable state, you have to have sufficient money. In order to have sufficient money, one must build a business or climb the corporate ladder. Others might say purpose is to find love in life. There are so many different messages that we receive with regard to finding purpose, and then once we define what that purpose is, we set up goals. And so in the short time that we have this morning, I'd like to ask you some questions that will help you with regard to finding purpose. And then we'll make practical steps towards setting our goals, or set our intention, we'll do a bit of breath work, and then we will move our bodies a little bit and conclude with a meditation. So, finding purpose. We begin with the question of why. What is the meaning of existence? Why am I here? What is this all about? Kind of a pretty overwhelming question, pretty cerebral, pretty abstract. And one has the option to look at what others have said from the past. Some might say that there was a cause for this universe, that there is a creator, and that creator has sent messages to us in regards to how we live life. And this is often found in the texts of the old world religions, whether it be the various streams of Hindu philosophy, Buddhism, Christianity, Judaism, Islam, Sikhism, and so many of the other micro-religions that are around the world. But one thing that I do find in the Eastern traditions is the call to look within, to find our sense of purpose deeply embedded within our DNA, our spiritual DNA that is, and just find it as well. Now I say this without having you actually find the purpose today, because it's an exercise that takes time, it takes reevaluation, it takes soul searching essentially. But those are the two ways that I would like to present to you is, are you going to find purpose from older traditions or wisdom traditions of where people have gone through the path, have done the work of seeking knowledge internally in their souls and as well as externally, and then telling people the truth that they have found? Or do you want to make that journey yourself? That's up to you. but it is very, very important to have a sense of purpose, an overall arc for your life's story, an overall mission, an overall drive and reason to get out of bed. The reason the purpose is so important because one of the most salient features of living with bipolar disorder is feeling lost, not having motivation to get out of bed, and you're probably like, Imran, I have a sense of purpose, but my depression is just so intense. My pain is so intense. I can't even control my thoughts. I forgot how to read. And you're telling me to create this grand story for my life? Like, I am just trying to get out of bed. And that is the point that I also want to drive today. That while it is important to have this big kind of arc story of what it is that we're trying to do in life, I as a Muslim, I follow the Islamic cosmology, that I'm here in this world for a certain amount of time to do as much good as I can so that I can return to my Lord and enter into His gardens and be in His company. That's what I strive for. But there are many roads and bumps along the way. While that is my main arc, there are some smaller arcs that I had to deal with 4 years ago when I was dealing with the acute phases of bipolar depression and mania. And I realized that in order to get to those big goals, that big destination that fulfills my purpose, I have to set minor goals. I have to set goals that don't seem as daunting as the one that I have for this long purpose that I've set. And so, for example, when I used to be a marathon runner, and I saw on my schedule that I had to run 18 miles, 20 miles, it seemed quite daunting. But I would just tell myself, Imran, first step, get your shoes on, get your clothes on. Next step, just do the warm-up. All right, next step, I'm gonna make it to that tree. Okay, next step, I'm gonna make it to that lamppost. And from there, the sweetness of the journey started to connect, and before I knew it, I was done with my 18 miles. And then, of course, there's the recovery process. And in the same way, my suggestion to everyone that's watching right now and watching later on is to set a goal for recovery. Whether it be long-term recovery of completely getting off of medication, or short-term recovery of taking a bath, cutting the nails. These are seemingly to other people like, hey, these are not big goals. But you and I know that that's a big deal. If you cut your nails, if you groom yourself, if you take a shower, if you check the mail, these are huge things. And you have to learn to pat yourself on the back for achieving these goals that maybe prior to having your diagnosis were mundane, simple things. No one knows the difficulty, no one knows the burdens that you are carrying right now. So it becomes incredibly important to reward yourself by achieving these small goals that help build momentum towards achieving your long-term goal once you achieve it. So I've said a lot, and I want to set the intention today. When it comes to finding purpose, let us send a prayer, let us send an intention, whether it be from the external, from the divine, if that is your belief, or it is from the divine spark within. We seek out to that power, to that energy, and seek our purpose. And when we set that, when we make that prayer, we also set an intention for a small goal this morning. Just getting into the practice of setting up small goals. It can be something in your personal life, it can be something for your family, it can be something for someone else. Whatever it is, let's take 3 long diaphragmatic breaths to set the intention. feel the sense that the goal is too big, or you've set too many goals, that's okay. Try to achieve as many of them as possible. And if you don't achieve them by the end of the day, that's okay. You've set ambitious goals. There's nothing to be ashamed of. But also, be merciful with yourself if you don't achieve all of those goals. And then just move it on to the next day. Alright, let's open our eyes, raise our arms up, take a deep inhale, and exhale down. I'm going to move back a little bit. I'm going to make sure the camera is still working. Looks good. Okay. I have an injury on my right knee, so I'm going to be doing some modified positions. And I'm just going to be sitting like this mostly, but if you are able to do so, to bring in your left foot in and your right foot in front of your left foot into easy pose. So it's like this, and it's feeling a little edgy for me right now. So I'm going to stick my leg out. Too much tense. And we'll inhale up and exhale. Going to generate some heat and some blood, some movement in the body with some breath work in order to get the blood flowing. Inhale up and exhale down. Inhale up and straighten the spine and exhale down. Inhale up and exhale down. Inhale up and exhale down. Next time when we inhale up, we'll keep our hands up. Inhale up. Reach for the sky. And exhale, keep the hands up. And from here, I'm going to reach higher with my right arm. Reach up with my left arm. Back and forth. Allowing for energy to flow through our entire body. You might feel some tingling in the area of your liver, your kidney, of course opening up of the spine. But this pose right here is just fantastic for moving all of the chaos that is up here and getting it to flow down into the body so that the awareness isn't so congested and concentrated up here. Stretch, the longest stretch on each side, the highest point. Okay. Feel a little juice, a little burn in our shoulders. We can roll our shoulders. Exhale with your nose or exhale with your mouth. But I do encourage you to inhale with your nose. Exhale audibly after the next inhale. Okay, let's bring a little movement to our hips. We're going to come back into easy pose. too juicy for me. Sorry, y'all. Got tendinitis of the right knee. So what we're going to do is, while in easy pose, we're going to place our hands on our knees. And from here, I'm going to bring my left shoulder and try to bring it to my right knee. Then I'm going to swing forward and try to bring my right shoulder to my left knee. Swing back. And come back. Left shoulder to the right knee. Come forward. Make some nice circles. Opening up the lower back. And once you make it to the center, you switch the rotation by bringing your right shoulder to your left knee first, and then swinging forward, bringing the left to the right knee, and rotating. Now from here, what we're going to do is we will stick both of our feet out and spread them in a way where it creates a 90-degree angle. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my right hand and I'm going to grab with my pointer finger the hook of my big right toe. From here, I'm going to extend my hand up, and I'm going to look up. And I'm going to look down, look up, and look down. I'm going to look up one more time. I'm going to make 3 big circles. 1, 2, and 3, and then I will rotate the other way 3 times. Those of you that don't know, I've recently gotten into Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and I've lost quite a bit of flexibility, but I've gained a lot of strength and a lot of cool moves as well. So now we'll do the same thing on the other side, where I will grab my big left toe with my left pointer finger. And I'll do the same thing by extending my right palm up. I'll look up and look down. I was telling my yoga instructor that it's really getting to my ego that I'm not as flexible as I used to be. He said, young Padawan, that's not what yoga is about. Yoga is about disassociating with that notion of pride and ego. Identifying with what is real. So I'm going to make 3 big circles. And then make 3 big circles the other way. Awesome. Now what we're going to do is we're going to come onto our feet and into a squat pose. Open up our hips a little bit further. If your heels cannot come all the way down to the ground, you can lean forward. But you will feel a juicier stretch the deeper you sink into your heels. And while we are opening up the hips more, straightening the spine, let's bring our hands together in order to stretch our wrists. So when we have our hands together like this, I'm going to take my right hand and face the fingers downward, the palm against my left hand. And I'm going to, if you can bring your elbows in between your knees. And from here, bring your knees together to give your right forearm a nice juicy stretch. Sway side to side. Do the same thing now on the other end. The fingers of our left hand down and the back of our palm on our right palm. Wonderful. Now from here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my right hand and place it on my left knee. And I'm going to look up, reach up. Look down, look up, look down, look up. Now from here, I'll take my left hand, place it on my right knee. We'll look up and reach up, look down, down, and look up. Oh, boy, do I need this stretch. You feel all of the crunchiness in my body right now. So I'm going to come on to tabletop pose. And from here, we're just going to rotate our body counterclockwise. Feel pressure in our shoulders, in our knee and our hip. And we'll do one of my favorite poses, but I feel it's one of the most important poses for people with bipolar disorder because it is incredible for bringing us back to the center from the manic state and even the depressive state. And that is the cat-cow pose. The cat-cow pose is the quintessential pose that teaches one how to undulate the spine. And when we learn to undulate the spine, we learn how to bring our energy back to center. So I do this in the morning. I do this before going to bed. It's a wonderful, wonderful grounding pose. And the way we do it is we begin with the tailbone and end up here. I would say up to the chin. So just watch if you're not familiar. But you begin by raising your tailbone, dropping your stomach, shining your chest forward and looking up. And then dropping the tailbone, arching the spine, and dropping the neck. So inhale, cow. And exhale, cat. Go ahead and do that at your own pace. And really stretch out those stomach muscles or wherever it is that you feel tension. From here, we can widen our knees and bring our hips down and come into child's pose. Allow for gravity to open up the spine, to open up the hips. And we'll come back up. And from here, instead of sending our hips back, we'll send our hips forward. Back into child's pose. Forward. Into up dog. Now from here, I can either walk up or I can kick up, whatever your body feels good to do. And from here, I will come into Utkatasana, or chair pose. So this is going to fire things up, it's going to fire up our quads. It'll be a little bit more intense than what we've been doing so far. We want to be able to see our toes. You can bring your feet together, or you can keep them hip distance apart, straighten the spine, sink deeper into our chair, and inhale and exhale, come back up, send the hands back, shine the chest forward and look up, inhale down, and exhale. Inhale down, and exhale. Inhale down, and exhale. We'll do this 3 more times. You can do it at your own pace. Inhale down, and exhale. Aspire to bring your biceps in between your ears. Inhale down, and exhale. Remember to send your hips backwards. Inhale down, and exhale. Inhale down, and exhale. All right, we've got the heart pumping a little bit. Great. Now from here, we're going to play with our balance. We're going to do a pose called tree pose. And the idea of balance poses, at least for our purposes today, is when we set our goals, there are things that can get in the way of achieving those goals. Whether it be family, work, distractions from social media, from the news. And so those things compromise us from keeping our focus. So what we're going to do is we're going to bring our hands together. We're going to bring the image of that goal that we set for ourselves at the beginning of our practice this morning. And I'm going to raise my right heel and rest it above my left ankle. And continue to meditate on the goal that I've set for myself. For example, me, I've set up 3 goals for myself today. And the first goal is to clean my apartment. So I'm going to stay focused on that. And what I notice is the cacophony of everything that's going on in life quiets down, when I simply expand space for myself to focus on that one goal and to visualize not just a clean apartment, but to doing the work. Cleaning, sweeping, vacuuming, mopping, dishes, all of those things. And finding joy in being in that mundane activity. If you would like, you feel like you can hold that concentration for your practice while raising your foot either up to your calf or above your knee. You never want to be on your knee, but to place your heel in your inner left thigh. Go. Lost balance. So I'm going to just take it easy and hang out right here. Come back down. We'll do the same thing on the other side. And if you would like, you could meditate on your first goal if it's one goal, or you can focus on another goal that you have set for yourself today. So I'm going to raise my left heel above my ankle, jut my left knee out towards the left, but still maintain straightness in my hips. And you're welcome to come up to your right calf muscle or raise it up above your left knee. I definitely cannot divide my focus between balancing and on my meditation. So what I'm going to do is tone it down a bit. Tell my ego it's okay that I can't balance as much as I would like today. Be merciful with myself, despite my ambition, and continue the work. Not giving up completely, but still setting the intention in motion. And continue to breathe. Bring my hands together, or my feet back down, and from here, come down to the ground. I'll do a quick time check. Great. From here, we'll come back to where we started. The movement practice was fairly light today because I wanted to create space for the inner sides, create space for envisioning ourselves living the story, living the arc, living with the sense of mission and purpose. Not because it is something that one, you must do it, otherwise you're in trouble, but rather it is an effective tool, an effective strategy for getting out of the murky waters of depression and the chaos of mania or hypomania. And whether or not you're vacillating in between, you, with a sense of purpose, will begin to see that those are things that are, like many things, roadblocks along the way. But if one does not have a sense of purpose, then they become lost in the ups and downs and thinking that that is all that life has to offer. Second is to set attainable realistic goals for ourselves, milestones, whether it be the famous 5-year plan, 10-year plan, or even just the plan for getting out of bed. Setting realistic goals for ourselves help us to plan our work and then work our plan. So let's conclude our practice this morning, and I'm going to look at the chat. If there are any questions, we can surely dialogue and chat. I am working towards moving to a Zoom platform so that it empowers you all to have much more engagement with me. And I'm reconstructing the website. So a lot of things going on in the background with DP Harmony. So I'm so delighted that I've been in practice for over a year now, and I've learned a lot in the process, and I also feel proud that I've helped people significantly along their way in their journey towards recovery. So let's end our practice with a final meditation where you are welcome to sit the way I am in a comfortable seated position, or you may lie down. So go ahead and get into your comfortable position. Okay. From here we will close our eyes. And check in on the state of our body and how it compares to the beginning. How is the body in terms of spaciousness, heat, blood flow? How is the mental mind? Let's take our awareness to the sense of sound. And if you are in a home, in a room, then to take your awareness to the closest sound besides my voice. Take your awareness to the closest sound and simply observe without judgment the mundane details of that sound. Continue to breathe deeply, slowly. If your mind gets bombarded by thoughts, that's okay. Let them wash over like the waves of the ocean and come back to the sounds that you hear in your room. One sound. Finally, we will next take our awareness to a sound that we may not notice, but it's there. A sound outside of our window, outside of our room, outside of our apartment. It may take some time to find it, but it's there. Invite that to your to your awareness and notice the mundane details of that sound. bring our awareness back to our room. We wiggle our fingers, wiggle our toes. We bring our hands together, rub our hands, generate some heat. Bring awareness to that heat that is being generated in between our hands. And bring it to our face, feel the warmth, bring it to our neck, and anywhere else in the body you simply want to acknowledge, you simply want to say hello to, you simply want to thank. Thank you, arms, for all that you do. Thank you, legs. Thank you, knees, for carrying all of the weight. Thank you, calves. Thank you, ankles. Thank you, feet. We open our eyes, and we conclude our practice for today. I'm going to flip over the camera, switch over to the chat. Let's see, how do I do this? So I do that. I come over to the chat. Where is the chat? Let's see, I'm still trying to find the chat. I apologize if you're trying to send me a message. Let's see, not that button. Highlight save to your channel. Okay. Let's see, what does this plus do? Start a poll. I could start a poll and I could ask the question, did you set a goal for today? Okay, I have started the poll. Well, if you're figuring out how to send a message and you're not able to, just speak it into existence. As some of you know, in my personal life, I'm not the most tech-savvy person. That's why I've hired a marketing team. So we're working on improving the engagement of this Sunday morning yoga class, and that it becomes more like a recovery support group where you're able to share your wins for the week, share your struggles with people that are on their journey with you. And we are aiming to launch this new platform by the end of the month. So stay tuned. And if you have any emails or any messages that you'd like to send me, you can email me at info@bpharmony.com. You can go to bpharmony.com as well, download my free ebook, purchase some of my course materials that's designed to help you or your loved one in the recovery journey. And I always begin by saying that recovery is possible, as chaotic as it may seem. I was once there and told that I would not be able to live the way that I aspire to, that I would be on mind-numbing medications for the rest of my life. And my message to you and anyone that you love that is struggling is that recovery is possible. This period, this short period in life is going to come to an end, and that there is a better tomorrow. This is my belief, and I ask you to bring this belief into yourself as well. And if you don't, just fake it till you make it. Just trust the people that are on the other side. You will find many voices like myself who will say that recovery is possible. Define what balance looks like for you, and we can work towards achieving that balance together. Take care, and I'll see you next week.